Where do we stand on pool financing mechanism? What are the likely trends? It's very likely that they will continue to grow in importance. The Sustainable Development Goal will put a further premium on pool financing mechanisms in order to finance global goods. Now I would like to move to the second emerging trend, which is innovative financing mechanisms. A recent study from Dalberg identified more than 350 innovative financing mechanisms. It's important to be able to better understand them, to maybe break them down into three categories: innovative spending, private innovative sourcing, and public innovative sourcing. And actually the United Nations system has a huge experience in terms of leveraging domestic and private flows through policy change, through normative work. So it's extraordinarily important for the United Nations system, as part of the post-2015 development agenda, to be able to basically program for catalytic impact, program for transformative change, monitor its leveraging impact, and communicate on its leveraging impact.
We had to move beyond the silos of developing and industrial countries and not just look at it from a fundraising point of view, but also look at it from a leveraging and looking at it from the fact that whether it's Burundi that's giving, I don't know, $100,000 to UNICEF, or whether it's a DFID that's giving $500 million, it's about partnership. And it's about the relationships with those said governments, regardless of the amount of money that they're giving. We don't want to be developing and duplicating different silos. So pool funds, yes, and I think they're good when they work, but we also have to be very careful that they are not transaction heavy, that they deliver results on the ground. And for all of you who are on the ground, I think that's what's important. How do we align our funding and delivery model in the post-2015 agenda? I think what UNICEF is really trying to do is to leverage funds for children, and not funds for UNICEF, but funds for children.
You know, the point is, the amount of money needed to implement the SDGs is so large, none of us can do it alone. And we really have to work on this together. I think that's one of the main messages I see coming from the SDG agenda. So what are some of the solutions that we have been putting forward? I think it will be, there's no really any surprise there. I think we all know them. It's domestic resource mobilization. It's about dealing to some extent with illicit financing or illicit financial flows. It's about using ODA much smarter. Yes, we know ODA will remain very important in low-income countries and fragile states. It will probably for a long time be the main source of funding there. But otherwise, if we're thinking about mixed, we should really start using ODA as a leveraging mechanism to bring in private funding as a means to co-finance and to implement. Then it's really about looking, this that I think Yannick also brought up, is leveraging private resources. Domestic private resources as well as international financial resources.
The trend today is to the faster and faster development of what used to be our clientele in the UN development system. In 10 years' time, the number of countries that will need the kind of support that we have been providing over the last 40 years is going to be very small. It's going to be fragile states and post-conflict countries. Everybody else will be either already a middle-income country or very close to being a middle-income country. So this is going to be the new normal for the UN system. We need to look at our premises in many instances as we start to prepare for a world in which countries are much less dependent on the United Nations development system. We have to make sure that what we offer to countries is relevant to what their needs are. They are going to be determining their needs, not us. And we have to humbly accept as well that our ability to contribute to a policy discussion or even to the formulation and implementation of policy is going to depend on us being relevant to them. And we have to keep that focus clearly in mind.